Another week bites the dust. This is week 4 already and was another week getting practice on motion diagrams. We did position, velocity, and acceleration diagrams. We were also introduced to a somewhat familiar, yet misunderstood topic in concerns with physics. That would be force. We looked at the different kinds of force and the proper notation for this class. This week also brought an opportunity to work on our group projects as David had to be out of town one day. Coincidentally, I was out of town that day also and was not able to participate in the group project work that day. Nonetheless, I don't think I missed much. I don't think my group did much on that day. In practicing more on the motion diagrams, we also did some accompanying calculations that helped to solidify what the diagrams are telling us. This moved on to the discussion on force. Within our groups, we pulled out the flip charts and drummed up what we think we know about force and some questions we have about force. This proved to have some interesting information, as force is not always viewed as intuitively as it would seem. We used whiteboards to look at the forces present on a resulting ball. We found that it wanted to add forces that were not necessary, and also learned how to appropriately notate the force with arrows and with adjacent object notation to tell the type of force and what is working on. Gravity is not an acceptable term to use, again one of the intuitive thoughts about force that was changed. We call it the force of the earth. To sum it up, force describes the interaction between objects. I learned about force and had to look at it a little differently than my mind wanted to automatically see it. It has been a long time since I've taken a physics class, and I am sure things are different in this class than what I learned previously. Luckily, I can't recall much of what I learned previously. It is nothing but an occasional minor case of déjà vu. I learned what force is and how it is applied to objects. This class also brought more practice on the motion diagrams, which are going fairly well for me, but I still get a little mixed up on some. I need to learn more about force and how to use it and apply it to this class and the project we are doing, especially how force fits into what we need to put in our TIMs for this project. And as usual, more practice on the motion diagrams would not hurt much. I figure it would become clearer the more I use it. Hopefully the clarity will come soon, so I don't feel so unsure. Take it as a sign. To conclude this week, we did some old, some new, and some project work. We did further work on the motion stuff, and we were introduced to force. As we go along in this class, I am hopeful that the physics we learn will make sense as we use it more, and that we can get enough guidance on the projects and how best to incorporate the physics aspects.